Whole sports all plays. Yeah. Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. 365, we making up plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. Sport all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. Whole sports all plays.
All right, what's happening, everybody? Excuse me. Welcome to Easy Money, a sports betting show, August 1st, 2024. I'm Chris.
Okay.
Sounds like
Well, Chris, I've been watching a bunch of Olympics. Just watched the women's gymnastics and seen the United States get a gold and a bronze, and the women's overall competition. Biles got the gold and Sung Lee got the bronze. So that was pretty interesting. We're gonna touch on this boxing. You want to touch on this boxing subject, or you want to stay away from it?
Oh, it don't matter to me.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I think it's ridiculous. A person can be whatever they want to be. You know, if transgender, whatever. I have no issues with that. But if you're going to compete in a competitive sport like the Olympics, it's just too big of an advantage. And what happened to this poor lady? Fought for like 40 seconds and just gave up and crying in the middle of the ring. I think that's a horrible look. And for anybody to say that there's no advantage, that's ridiculous. I'm sorry. And it shouldn't happen at that level. Like McAfee said earlier, it's one thing if you're talking about a 9-year-old girl and a 9-year-old boy. There's 9-year-old girls that could play at that time, possibly play baseball or run faster or something. But when they reach a certain age, it's not that way anymore. Now, could Caitlin Clark compete with the man in a 3-point shooting contest? Yeah, but that's not a normal sport. That's just extra.
No, it's not a physical sport.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't care what people want to identify themselves as. That's up to them. That don't bother me. But when it comes to like this, to what you saw in the Olympics, I think it was yesterday, if I'm correct with it.
Well, I seen the stuff today. I thought it was today, but it could have happened.
Okay.
It could have happened at 4 o'clock in the morning. So I'm not sure.
I thought I'd heard something about it last night. That's one reason I thought maybe it
could have.
But with the time difference, it's hard. But it just recently happened here during the Olympics in women's boxing, where, the woman quit after like 40 seconds. She quit. Basically, this isn't what I've always done. It's different. And I think what we just watched with McAfee saying, I think he laid it out pretty much perfectly.
Yeah.
Where I mean, when you grow up, it's always a man hitting a woman's like the worst thing, and then now we're watching in the Olympics, and how did we get to this?
Well, yeah.
There has to be there has to be if you want to like if people want to have the train, you want to identify what I don't have a problem with that, but when it comes to like competing in sports, I think it has to be separate. For one, for safety,
Yeah.
and it's not fair to these other women that have trained their whole lives in something, and then you're basically getting it taken away from you.
Yeah, I agree. And the way he broke it down to, they showed some of the Olympics times, like in swimming and different sports, the difference, between the men and the women. You're talking about the greatest athletes in the world, and there was still a huge difference in what the women were doing and what the men were doing, and everything that he showed. So I mean, he laid it out perfect, and it makes perfect sense. And I didn't see this, but I read a report where they said that she got hit so hard in the face that the what they call that, the headgear was completely disheveled on her, and they also said that the broke her nose.
Yeah, I haven't, like I said, I haven't seen the video. The video, I'd heard the guy on the radio talking or describing it last night. He was talking about how hard it was to watch. But like I said, I haven't seen a video or anything of it yet.
Well, it'd be crushing to train your whole life and be put in that situation. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to put anybody down. Not trying to be disrespectful because I'm not. But that's just a tough situation to put somebody in. I mean, a lot of these people, especially American athletes, some countries you get paid to train and stuff. A lot of these people in America, which I don't think this was an American athlete, but say it was. I mean, and other countries, they're not rich. Some countries are not rich countries, so they're not making a lot of money. You train your whole life for these opportunities, and they don't come very often. And for that to happen, it's not right.
No, I agree.
No, it's not right.
No, I agree.
But wrestling starts Monday?
Yeah, wrestling starts on Monday. Yeah, I mean, it just don't. To me, it's not fair, and hopefully they figure out what the fairest way to go about it is. But the Olympics overall have been good.
Yes.
What I have watched, I've watched some last night, and I haven't watched much today. McAfee show does a pretty good job of keeping you updated on what's going on during the day.
Yeah, he is.
They were talking about the gymnastics. About Suni Lee had fell in one of the events, and I think that might have kept her from either getting at least second.
Yeah. I don't think anybody was going to catch Biles unless she made a mistake, and she didn't make any mistakes. And I also got to give her credit when it come down to that last event. She didn't have to go to her main. She could have let up a little bit and just try to play it safe, and she didn't. So
yeah. Yeah, she got a pretty high score on that. So
she did.
Tell you what, I was so mad last night at the Reds. Not the Reds, but David Bell he might be the worst damn manager in baseball.
Well, I think it was. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think the team is decent, but I think last year they got on a roll and he got rewarded for it. It wasn't things that he did, and he got rewarded for it. And now he's got that extension, and he should have never got it.
You watch that game last night; it was terrible. First, the batting order makes no fucking sense at all. Why is TJ Friedel batting cleanup? Espinal's on. We have Espinal on a 12, 13 game hitting streak. Let's bat him 9th or 8th. It was like he was batting 8th or 9th. You have Friedel batting 4th. Friedel's not a cleanup hitter.
No,
he's more a leadoff guy. I could see even if you maybe had him at 2 if you wanted to, but he's not. He shouldn't be at 4 or 5.
That'd be a criticism of the Reds. I don't know that they have a true cleanup guy.
I'd either have Steer or Candelario there.
Yeah, that'd be about the
Probably.
closest.
Because if you're going back De La Cruz at 3,
Yeah,
I mean, you could put De La Cruz at 4 if you want, but with his speed, I'd like to have him at kind of 3, and then have Spears. And Spears a good RBI guy too. That's why I'd say put him at 4.
I mean, some people would argue, and I would have at one time, but I don't know if he makes enough contact about him first. Even though I think he's gotten better because he's such a dangerous on the base pads if he got on base lead off, but he don't always make contact, and you do want a guy that can make contact. Now he hasn't gotten better at taking walks and stuff. I don't know what his on base percentage is. It's better this year than it was last year.
That's terrible. And then Lodolo has a bad inning in 3rd inning, gives up 3 runs, and in the next inning they give up, get down 6-0. Fraley in the bottom of the 5th, Fraley hits a home run, makes it 6-3. And you send Lodolo back out there, who's getting pounded. You just cut the lead in half, have a little bit of momentum. Why don't you change the pitcher and try to shut them down from scoring anything? Instead, what we do, we gave up another home run.
He gave up 8 runs total.
Yeah, he gave up a home run there, and then they finally took him out. So instead of being 6-3, now we're down 9-3. You know what I mean? And then you get De La Cruz on second base. You're down 6-0. What we do? Let's try to steal 3rd. Why are you trying to steal 3rd when you're down 6 runs?
I don't know. That's crazy.
I was so mad. I was mad. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. It was just terrible the whole game, and a lot of it to me was just managing decisions. I mean, but Lodolo didn't have his stuff last night. I don't know why you kept leaving him in there.
No, I agree.
He couldn't throw his break. He didn't have no control of his breaking ball at all last night.
He did not. Well, Frankie Cruz, he's
hey, how's it going, Frankie?
He's on Philly because the Yankees swept Philly.
Yeah, I was aggravated watching the Reds last night. It's probably a good thing they have the day off. Because I don't know if I'd be able to watch them play today. Because I was mad last night. You won the first 2 games against the Cubs, and then you get beat 13-3.
Yep, you got pounded. That's for sure. And Lodolo's been pitching pretty well. Hopefully there's nothing wrong.
All right. I watched it. All right. Yeah, I saw his interview after the game. He seemed like, I mean, he didn't seem like anything was wrong physically or whatever. I think he's trying to get back from where he had that blister that was affecting his breaking ball. I think he's still dealing with that a little bit. But he said he liked, for the most part, he liked what he was doing, other than when he got 2 strikes that he wasn't finishing batters, which was true. And that was my other thing. 2 strikes. If you get an 0-2 count on somebody, why are we throwing pitches right down the fucking middle? Yeah. You get 2 strikes on a guy, that's when you should be trying to use that changeup or your breaking ball. Instead, we're going fastball. And I know he ain't trying to throw it right down the middle, but that's where it ended up, and that's why he was getting killed. Most of those hits last night was on 2 strikes. He'd get 1-2 count, 0-2 count, and then it'd be just too good of a pitch in that count. And they were, when they hit it, they were hitting it hard.
I really don't think the Reds are that far away, but I think the biggest thing they need to get is a new manager. I think they get a good veteran manager in there that's had success before and comes in and changes the culture of the team. And I think we'd be more consistent, and that's what's missing with the Reds is consistency.
No, I agree. I think I could have done a fucking better job managing the team than what Bell's doing. I don't know how he's managed to stay around as long as he has.
I don't either.
I think it's because of his dad, who his dad was.
Yeah, it could be.
That's the only thing I can think of, because there's managers out there that probably I could look up some managers have about the same numbers of him that have been fired and hadn't got other opportunities. And he's been around for a while. Well, preseason football starts tonight.
That's right. The Bears and
I forget who they're
I do
playing.
too.
I know it's the Hall of Fame game tonight. But like I said, yeah, I forget who
The
they're.
Cowboys, is it?
I'm not going to guess. For some reason, I'm wanting to say the Packers. Is what I'm wanting to say, but I don't feel like that's right either. I'm trying to pull it up, and my phone never loads up. Texans and Bears.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really usually watch it because not many of the starters play.
Yeah, I don't watch very much preseason.
I guess it will be kind of interesting to see how the new kickoff looks. I mean, that would be a reason maybe I might tune in for a little bit of it. I know they'll recognize Dwight Freeney sometime during it as well because he's going in the Hall of Fame this weekend.
How big of an effect? I mean, it's going to have some effect on the Colts defense losing that player. I mean, he was one of the guys that did put some pressure. You think we'll be all right losing him, or what do you think?
I mean, it's going to have an effect, but I think one thing that ended up working out for us is we drafted that Latu at that position, and from all the reports are saying, I guess he's been even better than advertised, better than expected in a way. So I think that is going to be probably mean he. I think he was going to play a role already.
Yeah,
but I think he's going to be playing probably a bigger role with Ekimon being out. But I think that was kind of worked out good that we drafted that position. Now,
and
if you look back on it,
it's better to happen now than happen probably 3 or 4 weeks into the season. I mean, you can game plan, now, early.
yeah. I think having a little bit more depth at that position this year than what we did last year definitely is going to help us. I mean, it sucks that he got hurt because he was our leading rusher last year. I'm ready for regular season. I don't watch much of the preseason football, but I'm ready for regular season. And it's nice that the Hall of Fame games tonight because that means we only have a few more weeks.
I think as far as sports go, I think you're like me. NFL is probably your favorite sport, isn't it?
It's my favorite. Yeah, especially to watch on TV. I like going to NFL games, but I think like going to a game. I think baseball is probably my favorite to go to watch live. But to watch on TV, NFL's the king. I think it's just perfect on TV. Don't get me wrong; it's great. It's fun to go watch live too. But I don't know. I think to me, baseball is probably my favorite to go watch live.
I think NFL is my favorite on TV and to watch live by a little bit. But I do like going to baseball too. And if it ain't the Reds, I have a hard time watching baseball. Now, I can watch playoff baseball.
Yeah. Now, especially on TV. I have a hard time watching baseball on TV if it's not the Reds.
No, I could watch anybody. I mean, we went and seen Baltimore and Tampa Bay. We've seen Washington and the Cubs.
Yeah.
We've seen Washington, the Cubs, and Washington. I mean, we go to Indianapolis Indians games, farm team. I mean, So, I mean, baseball going live is a good experience.
But to me, nothing compares on TV wise to the NFL. NFL's the way there's this, I don't know, just the timing of it to me fits perfect. Watching it on TV and going to the games live is fun as well. I'm not saying it's not. To me, I enjoy the baseball a little bit better live.
I like baseball even better going since they've changed the rules a little bit and it's a little quicker too. A little quicker pace. I like that. Hey, Mr. Jones, how's it going? I see you guys have been doing some big things. That's awesome. You guys have been killing it.
And I think one of the reasons I enjoy the baseball more live than football is not, and it ain't really because I ain't even like the experience at the stadium as much. It's more that I feel like when you're at a game live watching football, you miss some of the stuff. Like on TV, you get all the replays. You get, you know what I mean? You're getting, and then you're also, I don't know, you're getting highlights from other games and stuff. It's just I miss some of that stuff when I go to a game. When with baseball, it's that stuff isn't as relevant.
Yeah, there's a lot more interesting replays in football than there is in baseball. So yeah, I agree with it. Now, how you like to see in live NBA?
I like now NBA. I'd much rather go watch it live than watch it on TV.
Yeah, I agree.
I love going. I like going to watch live basketball. Now the NBA style of basketball it is now isn't my favorite, but I'd go. Watching it live is a lot easier for me than watching it on TV. I watch a lot of the Pacers games on TV, but other than that, I'll watch. I might watch a little bit of a game here and there, and then the playoffs I watch more on TV. But live, yeah, going like if you go to a Pacer game, it's a blast.
Yeah.
And like it, and that's something I think the NBA and the MLB do a little bit better than NFL, which is weird to say because usually NFL very much they do better than NFL. But like if you go to a live game, like an MLB game and an NBA game, it feels like there's a lot more stuff going on to get the crowd, involved in the game. Like, you know what I mean? Like they're doing T-shirt tosses, they're doing all kinds of different things, and you don't see as much of of that trying to get the crowd engaged like that at like a football game.
No.
But you're also in a lot bigger stadium and stuff for a football game than you are at them places too.
Football's baseball, you got to do that because the pace is a lot slower. I think the pace.
Well, not anymore.
Well, yeah, but
if you think about it now, it's not much slower than NFL because NFL you have like 45 seconds in between a play.
Yeah, that's true.
And now with baseball doing that pitch clock, it kind of
I didn't look at that.
It kind of keeps it moving a little bit. I think that's why more people are starting to watch baseball a little bit.
Yeah, I think maybe the excitement level. There's more.
Excitement. Yeah, there's more excitement.
And
don't
get me wrong. There's pure baseball fans that live and die baseball, and and I like baseball a lot. As growing up as a kid, my favorite sport was baseball. It wasn't NFL. It wasn't. But my favorite two sports growing up as a kid was baseball and hockey. Believe it or not, when I was growing up as a little kid. So, and I was a big Indiana Pacer fan. Of course, they was in the ABA. I'm old.
Like I said, football I would say is my favorite, but to go live to it, I rank baseball just a little bit above it going live.
Okay, let me ask you this question. If you had your choice, get 2, 4, whatever prime time seats, but you got to pick one. Would it be the World Series? Would it be the Super Bowl? Or would it be the NBA championship? Game 7. I'm saying that, and World Series Game 7. That's the Super Bowl. Super Bowl is the championship game. Or are you going to Game 2 of baseball? So you're going to Game 7.
It would either be baseball or football. Basketball would be basketball would be third. It'd either be go watch the Reds in the World Series, Game 7, or or the Colts. Basketball would come third. That'd be a tough decision. NBA Game 7 would be lit. That is true.
I would take. I got to see the Reds in the World Series. I was very fortunate. 1976. So I would pick the Colts in the World Series. Super Bowl. That would be my pick. And then next would be the Pacers. It would be my second pick. And then I would go with the Reds third because I've already seen the Reds. A long time ago, though.
If I had to pick one, it'd probably be the World Series.
Let me ask you this.
I've seen both of them win a world. Well, I've seen the Reds win a World Series before, not like live, but they won a World Series since I've been alive. Colts have won a Super Bowl since I've been alive, so I can't use that argument.
Let me ask you this, and it's changing the subject just a little bit, along the same lines, and hopefully Hypocrisy will say something here. What would it be? What would you rather go to? Primetime seats, front row. Would it be SummerSlam? Would it be Royal Rumble? Would it be Survivor Series? Would it be WrestleMania? And what would be? You can pick any match as your main event, now or past.
I don't know what match I'd do as main event. I'd have to think about that, but it'd be WrestleMania.
I know you're a big Royal Rumble fan too.
I am, but
I've
I
seen the
mean,
SummerSlam.
to be able to
so-
say that I've been to, I mean, to
I've
go
been
to
to
be able to go to a WrestleMania.
Well, we'll be saying that pretty soon, eventually.
Royal Rumble, yeah, Royal Rumble would be great as well. But
I thought maybe you might take Stone Cold and The Rock or Stone Cold and the Bret Hart because I know Bret Hart was one of your
it would
favorites.
probably be some kind of combination like that.
Yeah, War Games would be awesome to see. I don't disagree with you.
He said without, yeah. If you have
Yeah,
an opportunity to go to Mania, it'd be, it'd be
but-
hard to turn Mania down to go to another one.
But what main event present or
Oh.
past?
I'd have,
Would have been pretty cool to see Hogan and Andre.
yeah.
I know Proxy hates Hogan, but could you imagine at that time, in that era, going to
Oh, yeah,
being in the front row?
Because I remember what it felt like watching it on a TV
Yeah.
back then. So I could just imagine if you were there.
And I'm talking front row.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm talking about having the green T-shirt guys. Rock and Roman, that would be interesting. I can't. You don't want Cody in there, man? Let me get a 3-way.
All right.
Things are about to change, though. AEW's going to take over. Shane McMahon's going to AEW. They're going to take over the world.
I told you my thought on that. I don't think it's Shane.
You think Vince?
I think
Puppet Master.
I think it's Vince in the shadows, and they're using Shane. They're using Shane as the front.
Could be.
Vince is going to go over there with Tony Khan and try to put the WWE under.
It's AEW fitting to die.
Oh, fucking internet would break if it came out that it was Vince.
And what would it, because the AEW fans hate Vince. I mean, they do.
Oh no, now Vince would be their favorite.
Do you think they
Well,
would? Do you think someone would stick
Probably
to the
not.
guns?
He probably wouldn't be their favorite. I forgot he has all that court case
Yeah,
shit
yeah.
going on. So yeah, that's true.
I got to see them all play Billy Buzz. Got to see Pete many times, Joe Morgan. Seen all them great players. A lot. I got to see him quite a bit. With great seats.
Johnny Bench was the man. All them guys were hell
But
of
Rose
ball
was,
players.
Rose was your favorite.
Yeah, Rose was my favorite. But Bench was a hell of a player too.
I think my favorite player, I know growing up was, and I'm going to say Joe Morgan.
And
was probably my
reason
favorite.
Rose was my favorite was the way he played. Charlie hustled. He was always 100 miles an hour, 100% of the time, and that's what made me a big fan of Pete. Plus, he was a hell of a ball player too. But I liked the way it was always all out. And then when I was growing up, Barry Larkin was always one of my favorites.
You like Eric Davis pretty
Eric
good, too.
Davis. They had a good team back then, though, too, with Sabo, Davis, O'Neal.
They
Had Sanders for a while back then.
They won the World Series. That one player played first. Benziger. Todd Benziger, I think his name was, played first. They had some people that come in that, did good for a little bit, did real good, didn't last.
Jose Rio was one of my favorite pitchers.
Oh yeah, Rio was
in the 90s.
Rio was great.
Oh yeah, in the 70s, the Reds was the team.
It's crazy, Billy Buzz, because I've lived in Indiana my whole life. My dad, who lived in Texas and then Cincinnati for a year, and then Indiana after that, most of his life, was always a Giants fan. Was always a San Francisco Giants fan. We always went to Reds games. We always seen the Reds play the Giants, but we've seen other teams too. But I've seen George Foster, who was a great Red, when he wasn't on the Reds. I seen him play for the San Francisco Giants against the Reds. Foster could hit a ball a long way.
Yeah.
Who do you think the greatest baseball player of all time is? That's so tough.
I don't think it's Otani. I think these people that are trying to say he's the greatest
yet.
football player ever already is out of their minds. I'd say that's tough. I almost want to say either Hank Aaron or maybe Clemente.
Yeah. I'm gonna say Clemente.
I know there's a lot of people that would say Hank Aaron.
Willie Mays.
Willie Mays. Willie Mays.
You got some other people that was before our time. Stan Musial. A lot of people I know.
Mickey Mantle.
My friend Billy Holton's a big Stan Musial.
Mickey Mantle.
Yeah.
I mean, I was a Mickey Mantle fan from just stuff I heard about him and learned about him when I was younger. But
Billy, who do you think the greatest baseball player of all time is? And the weird part about hypocrisy, I know you said you're not a big baseball guy. When I was growing up in the 70s, baseball was the number one sport. It was America's pastime. It wasn't basketball. It wasn't football. It was a totally different time. I remember because they would have playoff games on in the daytime. I can remember getting out of school and running as fast as I could, get home and get in front of the TV and watch the playoff games, day playoff games. I can remember that.
I could have swore I could hear that.
Billy Buzz thinks Roberto.
All right. Today's games. We didn't do a show yesterday, but Tuesday I went 3-2.
I did too. I went 3-2 also.
Today I ended up going with I think 4 games. I think there was only like about 6 games this evening.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot of day games today. I'm gonna go with the Guardians on the money line at home against the Orioles. Should be a real good game. But I like the Guardians pitching matchup a little better than I do the Orioles. Excuse me. That's one reason I'm taking the Guardians on the money line. We'll go with the Royals on the money line on the road at the Tigers. Royals have been playing good ball.
Excuse me.
I'm gonna go with the St. Louis Cardinals against the Chicago Cubs. Cards have Sonny Gray on the mound. He's been pitching well this year.
He's kind of
Cubs do have one of their good starters on the mound in that Amaga, so it should be a good game. Could be a low scoring game. Got 2 good starting pitchers.
Gray could be in the Cy Young conversation, I would think.
Yeah, he's having a real good year.
I possibly like Sosa. I got to see Sosa quite a bit.
Oh yeah, back when they were all doing the
doing
the steroids and hitting bombs. Everybody, baseball was booming back then.
Yeah.
That's what brought baseball back, actually.
Yep.
After the strike. And then I'm going to take the Angels on the money line at home against the Colorado Rockies. Rockies are terrible on the road.
Yep. Okay, my picks for tonight, we got 3 the same. I've got Cleveland money line at home against Baltimore. I have Kansas City on the road money line against Detroit. I have Atlanta money line at home against Miami, and I have the Angels money line at home against Colorado.
Yeah, the home run race was awesome back there, though, when you had McGuire, Bonds, and Sosa all battling it out.
How high up do you think Bonds should be up on the list?
Yeah, I think you can make a case that he's top 10.
Because Bonds
top 10 to 15.
Bonds was a great player before he started hitting home runs.
Yeah, me and Richard had this conversation a few weeks ago about Bonds, about how he had basically 2 Hall of Fame careers.
Yep, true.
You can make a case he had a Hall of Fame career before he ever had the steroid era, and then he had another Hall of Fame career.
If you had to pick, come down to it, which player would you take? Bonds or McGuire?
Bonds.
I would have too.
He's better all around player. Especially before he got big, because he could steal bases. You know what I mean? Before he got older and got a little bigger, he was that's what people forget. When he back in the day, he was a big
stole a lot of bases. Of course, he was got on steroids, and his body grew, and his head grew, and I don't know how can your head grow?
Okay. Maybe his brain was growing, expanded his head
3 times as big. Now, what was the player that Austin loved? St. Louis.
Pujols.
Who's better, Pujols or McGuire?
That's a tough one.
I think Pujols.
I would say Pujols. If Pujols wouldn't have had the injury issue he had toward the middle of his career, I don't think it wouldn't even been close. I think it's a little closer because of the injuries and stuff, because his numbers got kind of cut short of what they would have been. But yeah, I would say Pujols.
Let me ask you this question. This is going to be tough. I don't know if I can even answer. So if you can't, you can't. Greatest football player of all time. Not saying quarterback, not saying my back. Football player. Who's the greatest of all time?
Whew. I'm probably going to say Walter Payton.
I was thinking.
I never got to see him play live. I've seen video of him.
I would have said Gale Sayers, but he got hurt and he didn't get to finish his. He missed 4 or 5 years. Because Sayers was one of my favorites, but I would have say Payton.
Say from everything I've heard about him and everything, that's who I'd have to probably say.
Billy Buzz. He's old time like me.
I should have said Aaron Rodgers.
I thought maybe you might say O.J. Simpson.
Yeah.
O.J.
Yeah, that would go over real well.
It's like somebody saying the greatest wrestler of all time, Chris Benoit. I'd seen an interview with Diamond Dallas Page who said that Benoit was one of the nicest people you'd ever want to meet. And they said when they cut open, they sent his brain in and said that his brain was a brain of an 84-year-old man with Alzheimer's. They sent it to that Chris Nowinski he was a pro wrestler for a while, and he sent him to that brain institute. And they said his brain was of an 84-year-old man with Alzheimer's. That's crazy.
Yeah, because I've watched a lot of that stuff. Everybody talked about how nice of a guy and stuff he was, and then
Didn't end well.
Stuff can change you, especially if you start having issues in your head. I mean, we've seen it change a lot of people.
Well, Big Lynn just fired the Reds.
Yeah, I wanted to fire him last night. I was so fucking mad. It was because of stupid stuff. It's like, at least give yourself a chance. Down 6-0. Let's run ourselves out of an inning.
They do that a lot, unfortunately. And you can only say lack of experience for so long.
Lodolo's thrown 90 pitches, gave up 6 runs. Let's bring him back out for another inning after we just scored. We just cut the lead in half and got ourselves back in the game. 3-run homer later, then we take him out. I mean, at that point, you might as well let him finish the inning.
Yeah. Down 8-0.
Or now you're down 9-3.
9-3, yeah, might as well.
Might as well just let him finish the damn inning. I didn't understand what Bell was doing at all last night, and it was frustrating to watch.
One more question. I'll see if Billy Buzz will say the answer that I'm thinking. Greatest pro basketball player of all time.
Michael Jordan.
I don't think Billy Buzz is going to say Michael Jordan. See if I'm wrong. I don't think the one I'm thinking of, probably not number one, but I think he should be higher on the list than he is, and that's Larry Bird.
Oh, Larry Bird should be high up there.
Larry Bird should be at least top 3. And most people don't have him top 3. I think you can make. It's hard to make an argument over Jordan, but I think you can make an argument over anybody else. What do you think? Do you think that's possible? Can you make an argument if Jordan's 1? Can you find a way to get Bird to number 2?
Yeah,
I think so too.
the Celtics owner. All right. Well, you have anything else for today?
No, good to go.
All right. Well, we appreciate everybody watching. Please hit that subscribe button on YouTube. Like and follow Facebook, Twitch, X, Instagram, Alt Gonzo Sports Room as well. Billy said he loved Larry Bird. And we'll be back tomorrow right around 3 o'clock.